Hello and welcome to Multi-Event Calendar. My name's Jeff, I'm glad you're here. Let's just jump right in. I was recently asked the following question. How do I create a calendar that can show multiple events per day? Basically, the question is, how can we take a table of events like this and create a graphical calendar like this? And we're gonna walk through the steps together in this video. Exercise 1. In this exercise, we're just gonna get warmed up with the functions that we're gonna use. The first function is sequence, which creates a sequence of numbers. Equals sequence. The first argument is rows, so we want one row. The second argument is columns, and we'll take, let's say, 5 columns. The next argument is the start number. We'll start at 10, and we could also specify a step value if desired. Here we'll just close the function and hit enter. And now we have a sequence of 1 row, 5 columns that start with the number 10. We can also change this to say we only want 2 columns, 1 column, 3 columns, 5 columns, you get the idea. The next function is weekday, which returns the weekday of a date. Equals weekday of this date, close function and enter. So if the function returns 1, it's a Sunday, 2 is a Monday, and so on. So apparently January 1st of 24 is a Monday. The next function is EOMONTH, which returns the last day of the month. Equals EOMONTH. It stands for end of month, and we want to use this date, and the number of months is 0, which means the current month. Close function and enter, and we get January 31st, which looks good. The next function is ARRAYTOTEXT. Equals ARRAYTOTEXT. And we can just provide this range of cells, close function and enter, and it returns a comma-separated list of those values. And the last function is filter. Equals filter. The first argument is array, so we want to return a value from this array. The next argument is the include expression, so we basically want to include those rows where this category value is equal to this value. The last argument lets us specify a value to return if the filter function has no results. So we can just use double quotes to return nothing. Close function and enter. So this returns 11, B would return 12, C returns 13, and you get the idea. And the nice thing about the filter function is that unlike traditional lookup functions, it can actually return multiple rows. And that'll be very important in the next exercise. Now, let's put all these functions together and build our calendar. Exercise 2. Now the basic overview is this. We're going to create a list of dates for the first week, and then we'll use the filter function to retrieve all those matching events. Then we'll have another row with another set of dates, and then another row with additional lookups, and so on and so forth. So let's start by generating a list of dates. Can you think of a function that can create this type of list? If you said sequence, good for you. Equals sequence. We want 1 row, we want 7 columns, and for now we'll just start here. Close function and enter. Now even though these don't look like dates, they represent dates. Behind every date is actually a date serial, so all we need to do is apply some formatting. So let's just apply a short date format so we can kind of see what's going on. So in reality, we don't necessarily want our calendar to start with the first day of the month. We need them to be lined up based on their weekdays. So can you think of a function that can calculate the weekday? If you said weekday, good for you. So basically, if the first day of the month is a Sunday, we'd like it to start there. But if it's a Monday, we actually need Sunday to be the prior date. And if the weekday is a Tuesday, we need it to be 2 dates back, and so on and so forth. So one way to accomplish this is we can just simply subtract the weekday of this date. But that would be 1 off, so we need to actually add 1. So let's take a look though. If C6 is a Sunday, then the weekday would be 1, so it would be a -1 plus 1, which would net to 0, which means that that date would be returned. If the weekday was a Monday, this would back it up 1 day to be Sunday, and so on and so forth. Enter. And December 31st, 2023 is a Sunday, so this looks like it's working well. Now for the next row of dates, we'll use another sequence function. Once again, we'll have 1 row, 7 columns, and the start is going to be this plus 1. Close function and enter. And once again, let's apply a short date format. I'm going to go ahead and copy that, paste, 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 and paste. Now with these dates complete, it's time to grab the events. For that, we'll use the filter function. Equals filter. We want to grab the values from the event column, comma, but we only want to include those rows where the date value is equal to the date above. Close the function and enter. And here we get a calc error, which just means there are no matching dates. So what we'll do is we'll use this third argument if empty. If there are no dates, we just want to return nothing, and we'll use double quotes. Enter. Now let's go ahead and fill that formula right. And the first one looks good, January 1st, and as we can see, there's only one value, so it's returned to the cell. Here though, we get a spill error. That just means that there are multiple dates and Excel doesn't have the room to return all those results. So no worries, we can update our formula, and all we need to do is wrap an ARRAYTOTEXT function around the filter function and enter. And now let's fill that version of the formula right. And that looks good. And once again, we can just do a copy, paste, 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 and paste. And with that, our formulas are complete. But we want to make it look a little better, so we'll do the cosmetics in the next exercise. Exercise 3. All right, the first thing we'll do is grab this date, and I'm going to select all these cells, and I'm going to open up the Format Cells dialog. For the number, I want a custom number, and I want 4 M's. That's going to give us the month name fully spelled out, and 4 Y's. For alignment, horizontal, center cross selection. For font color, let's go white. Let's bump up the size a little bit. And for the cell fill, let's go with this blue here. And click OK. And that looks fine. And you can format this any way you'd like. For these day labels, let's select those. Maybe let's make them center. And maybe let's pick a lighter blue. That looks fine. We click OK, and that's fine. Now, for all of these dates, I think displaying the full date looks a little overwhelming. So I'm going to go back to the Format Cells dialog, click Number, click Custom, and I'm just going to do 1D, which is just the day number. And I'm going to click OK. And let's make this font a little lighter. So I'm going to go back to the Format Cells dialog. I'm going to pick Font, and I'm just going to pick a color like maybe this one. And I'll click OK. And actually what I'd like to do is format the days that are within this month with a bolder color. We'll do that with conditional formatting. Conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, between. So if that day is between the day that's here in this cell and the end of the month, can you think of a function that returns the last day of the month? Hey, if you said EOMONTH, you're dialed in. Equals EOMONTH of this 0, close function. Here we can pick any type of custom format we want. I'm going to go with a bold font and pick any color you'd like and click OK and OK. That looks better. Now that formatting's dynamic. Now for the events rows, let me go ahead and hold Control so I can pick all of these. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to change the row height to 45 so those are all consistent. I'm also going to open up the Format Cells dialog. I'm going to give this a top vertical adjustment and I'm going to wrap the text. Click OK. Okay, that looks good. And now let me pick all these event cells. All right, and let's just apply some borders. So I'm going to go to More Borders. I'll go with something light like maybe this gray. I want this, 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 and this, and click OK. All right, that's looking pretty good. And this is fully dynamic. So if I want to change it to 2/1/24, everything updates accordingly. And if I go to 3/1/24, everything updates. And it's just bringing the events from my events table. So those are the functions, formulas, and formatting that we can use to take a list of dates and create this graphical calendar. Hopefully it's been helpful. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Hey Excel user, if you ever need to create summary reports, check out my Pivot Table for Beginners video. It starts at the beginning and shows how to store the data transactions in a table and then how to summarize those transactions with a pivot table report. I hope it helps unlock the incredible power of pivot tables.
This video is a production of Excel University.